Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey, folks, good Wednesday morning to you. Happy New Year's Eve, and welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson in charge of things this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor, text 304-935-5008. We're in the Jared Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. This is jared-construction.com. Phone calls to the show, a service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, Spring Street, Charleston. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor, on Virginia Street in Charleston. Check out bestmastertailor.com. Of course, Tony will be closed for New Year's Day tomorrow, and the following day he'll be back open as normal, 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Welcome to the final show of the year 2025. Programming note, no 580 Live the next 2 days. We'll take tomorrow off and Friday. The show comes back on Monday. With, among others, Charleston Mayor Amy Schuler-Goodwin, a little preview of her State of the City address, which is going to be next Monday night in front of Charleston City Council. Also, as is accustomed, Danny Jones will join us on Monday as well. Coming up later on in this show tonight, of course, New Year's Eve. A lot of you, probably not me since I'm old, but a lot of people will be going out. I can promise you I'm not going out anywhere, as a matter of fact. But it's a tradition, New Year's Eve, to go out. Some may imbibe a little too much and drink and drive. Never a good idea, especially considering we got more snow coming up tonight. We're going to talk with some folks from the Kanawha County Sheriff's Department about that coming up a little bit later on. Plus, your calls and texts are always welcome. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text, 304-935-5008. Big shout out to Dale Cooper, who sat in for me on the local show yesterday. Working on some medical issues right now. I talked about a little bit on midday yesterday. If I get an opportunity, I'll bore you with it a little bit later on in this show. But I'm back today, but not tomorrow or Friday. 580 Live, Dave Allen Show will return on Monday. We'll be back later today with Metro News Midday, though. All right, so the final day of the year is here. Time to look back, as many people do at this time of year. But we want to look ahead, and we got breaking news, I think, to get to as well. I want to welcome to the show this morning Metro News' Brad McElhinny. Brad, good morning, sir.
Oh, hi. Good morning, and hello to
Waylon, yeah.
Your in-studio guest today.
Yes. Waylon and Grady, the cats. Amelia, if you don't know, Brad, it's a tradition. Stephen, Brad always gives a big shout-out to my cats, Waylon and Grady, who are, well, I wonder what they're doing. Oh, they're sleeping. That's what they're doing right now because they're house cats, and that's what they do. But, Brad, thank you for joining us. Amelia Knisley from West Virginia watches here. Good morning, dear. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Your voice, it's not good.
It's not. I promise this is not from yelling at my children. We've had a wonderful break. I'm just getting over a cold, but thanks for having me.
But you're good. All right.
I'm great.
A lot of that going around. Stephen Allen Adams, how you doing, man?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling squirrely. I'm ready to go.
We could only hope many people would that Stephen and Dave would lose their voices, right? But that's only the hope.
Oh, people pray for it all the time, but I don't know if I ever have lost my voice.
I frequently do, and it's usually like a sinus infection type thing. I just lose my voice. I feel like you, Amelia, I feel fine, no fever, whatever, but I have to tag somebody in, from time to time. All right, Brad, I came downstairs this morning and walk into the green room, and Stephen and Amelia are in there, and they hit me with this story, this breaking story as we are closing 2025. Have you heard the news? And I said, I did not, so I'm going to give an opportunity for one of them, either one of you. This show has no format whatsoever this morning. Either one of you to jump in, and Brad, you can weigh in, and I'll bring it up in the rear. But what have you got, Stephen?
What did you just say?
Not a funny joke with my current medical condition. All right, Brad, go ahead. Stephen, go ahead.
Sure. Our governor, Patrick Morrisey, tweeted this at 12:01 a.m. Early this morning. Quote, this was in response to a Mountain State Spotlight tweet looking back at some of their stories from 2025. But, quote, I want to see your stories about the squirrel extermination program where you wasted massive taxpayer resources trying to chase false rumors. Mountain State Spotlight, please address, unquote. So this is addressing I hate to even bring it up because we've all looked into this and it's nonsense, but like the governor sort of opened himself up for this one. There had been rumors about employees at the state capitol complex disposing of and exterminating some of the squirrel population on the Capitol grounds, the beloved squirrel population on the Capitol grounds. I could speculate about some of the reasons. There's some funny stories out there. Ultimately, it turned out not to be true, but there are some reporters who, I believe, have filed Freedom of Information Act requests trying to get some additional information about this. So far, it's been kind of relegated within the world of Capitol dwellers, but now it's sort of out there now because the governor tweeted it out himself. But it's very squirrely.
Okay, well, I had heard this. We've had texts from time to time about, and any time we've had the governor on, people, and they text in a variety of things, and that's to be understood no matter who the governor is. And somebody had texted a couple times, ask about the squirrels. Brad, what do you know about this story?
If it's news to me. So the squirrels at the Capitol are in great supply, and they probably could use a predator. I'm a little curious about the squirrels, A, but B, whatever massive was the word, taxpayer dollars, I'd like that to be further defined.
All right, Amelia?
I mean, I heard these rumors as well. At one point, someone told me there were buckets of deceased squirrels somewhere in the Capitol. But, yeah, I agree with Brad.
Well, it wasn't the cafeteria. Although squirrels are delicious.
Squirrel gravy is good.
I've eaten squirrel. Yeah, it's very good.
I'm not even really a meat eater, and squirrel gravy is good. But, yeah, I would like to know more about the massive resources because we deal with FOIAs all the time. And it's typically not... and let's just say in other branches of government, responding to FOIAs doesn't seem to be a massive overhaul.
All I'm saying is during Halloween, there was this decoration on the back gate of the governor's mansion that was just a bunch of little mini skeletons were back there and like on a string. And there was some speculation.
No, we're not implying that the governor would do that.
No, I have looked into this. I've asked a few people, look, squirrels die on the Capitol grounds. There are hawks that kill the squirrels. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's other reasons that squirrels can die on the grounds or whatnot. General services are the ones that usually have to go around and pick them up and whatnot. I think everything has led me to where maybe somebody saw somebody do that and spread a rumor, that sort of thing. Are there too many squirrels on the Capitol grounds? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but
one did jump in my backpack once. That's a real story.
Really?
Yeah,
a hawk dropped a dead squirrel in front of my wife Jessica one time on Capitol grounds.
It was a gift.
Yeah,
it was a gift. All right, so we'll just file this under a non-story, but again, it probably is now become a little bit more of a story that what wouldn't have been, Stephen, because of the expos.
Yeah, I mean it's why everyone should be like me and be in bed by 10 p.m.
Yes. I know. I actually saw it at midnight because I was up watching reality TV, and I was like, "Oh, I can't text Stephen and Brad because they go to bed at normal hours, like adults."
Yeah. All right, we'll just move on from there. Brad, and again, we'll have more information as it becomes available, as we say in the business.
Not from us. I'm not looking in the squirrel gate anymore.
Don't even get started talking about the China, because I get somebody that texts the show all the time that wants me to ask the governor about the China at the governor. Look, I will say this. And I'm not trying to, be in any way, shape, or form, mean-hearted or whatever. I am happy that we have a governor and a first lady that are at the governor's mansion. as the Constitution requires. And they seem like they have really, really taken to it and doing all the decorating and doing all the things there, not just at Christmas, but year-round. So to me, that's refreshing to see. Bringing
in the tourists, I think, especially for Christmas, was especially nice. It's the 100th. Most people don't stop to realize this. It's the 100th anniversary, this year was, of the governor's mansion from when it was completed. And I know that, and I've talked to a few people on the governor's staff, they're all about trying to kind of highlight the mansion and showcase it. It's one of the reasons they did the tours here during the Christmas season. And it's a beautiful place. If you've never been in it, take the tour.
Yeah, it is. Brad, in your opinion, and we'll kind of go in this direction right now, biggest one or two stories that had the most impact in West Virginia in 2025?
Oh, man. Well, because of the tragedy involved, this is going to be a bummer, but I certainly think that it's the deployment of the West Virginia National Guard to Washington, D.C., which was a major story in itself, but it became that much more so with the shootings of Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf. Beckstrom, of course, died on Thanksgiving Day, bringing that tragedy to a head. I mean, poignant for so many West Virginians who know people much like her. She was a 2023 high school graduate, had her full life to live. And, you saw community outpouring in response to her death, just a senseless tragedy. And then Andrew Wolf also shot the day before Thanksgiving near the Farragut West metro stop in Washington, D.C. And, that's a tragedy, too. He appears to be recovering, which warms the heart. But it's hard to think that his life or his family's will ever be the same. And to me, that was the major story of 2025 here in the last weeks since Thanksgiving. And anyway, apologies to everyone for being such a bummer, but I think.
Well, no, and that's there's no wrong answer. I mean, I ask for people to kind of weigh in on what they saw. Amelia?
I was going to say that one because leading.
I think we can. Let's just all agree on that. Yeah. That was the story, Stephen. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. National Guard in general. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say, adding to that, I mean, it obviously Thanksgiving it took a turn in a very sad way, but there were a lot of legal questions about it leading up to that too. Something else that stands up to me this year is all the school closures.
Yes.
And those are some of our most read stories at West Virginia Watch. So, it's not just here in Kanawha County. It's all over the state and in some of these rural counties. I mean, you have Clay County looking at losing their only middle school for the whole county. It's going to consolidate with their high school. You have so many elementary schools closing. And so I think just our declining population, other factors have played into that. And I think while those may not be the stories you see above the fold every day, those are the stories I think communities are really grappling with this year.
Well, I feel like the religious vaccine exemption issue has literally been with us since the beginning of 2025 on, literally from the day after Governor Morrissey took office, because he does that executive order allowing for religious exemptions to the school compulsory vaccine law for school-age children. Then the legislative session happens. We have the governor's bill to codify that. Of course, it dies in the House. Then we have the fight between the governor and the State Board of Education on the policies regarding that. Then we have the lawsuit filed in Raleigh County. We have the preliminary exemption, the preliminary, stopping of this sort of thing. You've got the permanent injunction, and now it's before the state Supreme Court, and we're not even going to get this thing settled until probably the middle of 2026. So it's been with us all year long and really kind of sucking up a lot of the oxygen.
Yeah, and I definitely want to get into an area that you specialize in, Amelia. Well, that you write a lot about, I'll say, because you specialize in a lot of different areas, and that's the foster care situations. We'll get in a little bit. So we're going to take a break. Brad, can you stick around with us, or are you off to other duties?
The only other duty I have so far is I am again reviewing the year with Dave Wilson.
Okay, all right. So you're good to stick through the break. Is that what you're saying? So Brad, are you okay to stay through the break with us? Okay. Well, we may have lost Brad. All right. Well, we'll keep efforting Brad, and we'll find out the answer to that question. Maybe the squirrels got him. All right. We'll take a break. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Just a couple more nights for you to take in Salango Law Light the Night over at Gomart Ballpark. Get your tickets in advance by visiting dblightthenight.com. If you'd like to weigh in with Brad, Amelia, or Steven, you're more than welcome to. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text, 304-935-5008. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses bring first-class businesses to your community.
Ho, ho, ho. It's Dave Allen for Generations Ford, and it's the most wonderful time of the year until you forget gifts for the in-laws and the car payments due Christmas Eve. Don't worry. At Generations Ford of Hurricane, drive home a new or quality pre-owned Ford with no payments for 90 days. Stuff your stocking with an F-150, a family-ready Explorer, or any pre-owned vehicle, and keep your wallet happy. Hurry to Generations Ford of Hurricane or generationsford.com today. Merry Christmas. No payments for 90 days on approved credit. See dealer for details.
One destination for every generation. Generations Ford.
And now a scary story brought to you by Instacart. Saturday was busy, but now it's Sunday, so you're rotting in bed. And that's when you start to smell something rotten. And it's not you. You follow the smell to the laundry room where you find a full pile of laundry and an empty container of detergent. Panic sets in, but then you open Instacart and order everything you need to get your life back together, delivered in as fast as 30 minutes. For one less Sunday scary, we're here.
Disaster strikes sometimes, but it doesn't have to be the end of the world. Rainbow Restoration of Kanawha and Putnam counties can take the worry and stress out of putting your home back together when disaster does strike. Whether it's fire or water damage, mold removal, or even full-service reconstruction, the trained professionals at Rainbow Restoration can help make it home again. It's not the end of the world with Rainbow Restoration. Call 304-201-0101.
Welcome back to the show. It's 9:23. Dave Allen here with you. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Their services involve developing comprehensive management plans to outline strategies for controlling and minimizing asbestos exposure. Perfect for commercial property owners and managers. Check out pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can't hurt you. Stephen Allen Adams is here. Amelia Knisley is here. Also, Brad McElhinny is here as well. I need to pass this along to you. A traffic note. Portion of I-77 was shut down in Kanawha County this morning because of slick road conditions. Multiple crashes reported there. Wrecks reported from mile marker 111 to 113, according to Metro 911. According to deputies, 2 vehicles wrecked in a hillside. One struck a guardrail and a rollover crash was reported. The deputies told WCHS television, no relation, that the Division of Highways has been called to address road conditions. Not immediately known if travelers had been injured. They've not provided a timeline for when the interstate will open. That's where we are right now. And again, not a lot of snow out there at all. I mean, even a dusting, a little bit worse where I live in Putnam County than what it was when I got in Charleston. But there is any of the traffic folks would tell you there are more accidents when there is a half an inch of snow than when there are 10 inches of snow, because people just don't think about it and they just don't slow down. So that's an area outside Sissonville this morning. Amelia Knisley from West Virginia Watch, Stephen Allen Adams from Ogden Newspapers. Brad McElhinny is here as well, we think. Brad, are you still with us?
Oh, hi. I believe I am.
Okay. All right. We had a question that somebody called in, and we didn't put them on the air, but they had a question. Maybe one of you all can answer this. Do we have any updates on Andrew Wolf's condition? Have you guys heard anything in a while? Amelia, Stephen, Amelia, I'll start with you. Any updates that we've heard lately?
Not lately. I feel like a week ago I saw another encouraging post from his family.
Yeah.
But yeah, beyond that.
The governor, I think, talked about that. Brad, do you have anything to update?
Now and then the Adjutant General, Jim Seward, provides an update about Andrew Wolf's condition, as does sometimes his mother on social media, and I think all have been positive signs. I mean, he's still in, I think, really serious shape, has a long road ahead of him, but it sounds like is continuing his recovery in physical rehabilitation.
Hey, Stephen, you got anything?
I think the most recent update was posted yesterday by General Seward. Specific prayer requests for Andy. Please join me in praying for Andy while he's engaged in intensive rehab 6 hours a day, specifically for his speech and cognitive ability. So it looks to me like he is just on the rehabilitation train. Obviously a long ways to go, but it does sound like there's improvement with every day. So that's wonderful to hear.
All right. Guys, Speaker Henshaw had the Republican caucus of the House, not long ago. They had 2-3 weeks ago, had a press conference over there saying we are going to focus not so much on social issues, but on business issues. Now, it's not to say that things can't come up, because things do, but, the House, and this was not the Senate, this was the House. We are focused on business, commerce, all the things. Likelihood as we cross into the new year in a couple of weeks, we begin session, likelihood that continues. Brad, we'll start with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one indicator has been that the governor, Patrick Morrisey, a couple of times has had press conferences emphasizing economic matters. I think it was a good idea by the House Speaker and the entire caucus to set a goal and to work toward it as the session begins, rather than just having things unstated. I think you're more likely to actually focus. And then, we've heard, I think, very little from the Senate so far. You do have to get things through two chambers, so it's hard to tell when we finally hit the session what the emphasis truly will be.
Yeah, we have the West Virginia Press Association has its legislative look ahead a week from Friday, this Friday, where we'll hear from the House Speaker Henshaw and Senate President Randy Smith. So we should get more of a view from the Senate side of things, hopefully, where their heads are at and what they plan to do. But yeah, I do think that the message has been received. There's been polling that the Chamber of Commerce has done, other groups have done. People are interested in better economic conditions. They're interested in more jobs. They're interested. I kind of hate the use of this buzzword now, but affordability. But it's true though. I mean, affordability is a broad phrase, but people are interested in those types of issues. And sure, there'll be some that try to push some social issues. I think State Senator Mike Azinger is going to probably bolt across to every school in the state by the time the legislative session's done. But otherwise, I do think the focus is primarily going to be on improving economic conditions.
I agree. I do think the House will have that focus, because you look at who's in some of the leadership positions in the House, like Delegate J.B. Akers, even Delegate Worrell, who's over the House Health Committee. They aren't usually pushing social issues, even if they might agree with some of those things. So I don't think the House is really going to stray from that. I mean, you never know. It's an election year, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's what happens after those bills leave that chamber.
Yeah.
I mean, there was not the best vibes between the Senate and House last year, or the legislature and the governor. And so I think it's more going to be what happens when that bill leaves the House and how does it go.
It's 9:29, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine, a podcast promoting healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetroNews.com, under the podcast menu. Amelia, I want to start with you on the foster care situation. And unfortunately, just like there's two things, foster care and PEIA, and they seem to be side by side, A and B, or should I say 6-7? I mean,
please don't.
Please don't. I have no idea. Every now and then I throw something out that makes Ryan just scratch his head, But these two things, it seems like that this time last year we probably sat here and said, "What about foster care and PEI?" Take it from there. I mean.
So I think coming into this session, what is a little bit different is that you have a governor who has vowed changes to the foster care system. And that's not to say that Governor Justice didn't want those things or didn't bring them up, but Governor Morrisey has held now 2 press conferences specifically calling for foster care reform. He just rolled out a plan to bring about 300 kids from out of state back in state who are in facilities. We haven't really seen that focus from a governor, in the last few years. Then you have a group of lawmakers who have already introduced close to 15 bills about foster care. So we're heading into this session, I think, with a very strong focus on this issue. I think the question marks moving forward are money. A lot of these ideas take money. This is not a legislature that has been a fan of spending extra money. Mm-hmm. Lawmakers are hoping that they can draw down some federal dollars to fix problems like not enough CPS workers, or their caseloads are too high, or they want to put body cameras on CPS workers, right? They have all these ideas. So I think that's something to move forward. And then also the Department of Human Services has to buy into the legislation. And I've already been told they're not a fan of most of these bills. And to be fair, sometimes lawmakers don't always know how to fix foster care, right? But also there has to be collaboration between the branches for things to really work, not blame, not shoving it aside, not saying, we'll fix that, don't worry about it, and then they don't. So I think that's going to be the thing.
And PEIA specifically, I think whatever they end up doing with PEIA, if they do anything, I'm convinced that they may not do anything. But if they do anything, I think they'll make some tweaks maybe to the spousal surcharge issue, because that's obviously going up. It has to go up because state code requires it to go up and change based on a certain set of metrics or whatnot. And the only way you can change that is the legislature going in and tweaking that. I could see them freezing that, or someone trying to offer legislation to maybe freeze that to keep it from going up for one more year. But beyond that, I think whatever they do is going to be around the edges.
Well, and one thing on the show last week, guys, I had Delegate Andy Shamblin on, and he's in a unique position because he's not only a legislator, but he's also a teacher at Nitro High School. And, of course, they just went through that tragedy there when the student took his own life. That student's parents have gone public and said, to try to warn other parents about these signs and things of that nature. And I think the term we talked about terms at this time of year. It's a relatively new term the last couple of years. Sextortion. This story has gotten nationwide attention because, unfortunately, it not only happens here, and this kind of happens all over the world. Any possibility, because Andy Shamblin, who is a teacher and a legislator, seemed to be on the show last week, very, very adamant, guys, that we're going to take a look at something here, a code change or something. Brad, do you have anything on that?
No, I mean, I think his heart's in the right place. To me, what is necessary is for kids who are going through something like that to feel comfortable revealing it to their parents or to the police or whoever. And that's a big ask because, it works on embarrassment and humiliation.
Senator Chapman, who's over the Senate Health Committee, also has a focus on this issue. So I think this is one bill where we could see, companion bills in the House and Senate move forward. So I do think this is an issue we'll see.
I'd also point out that Delegate Shamblin, of course, is also on the House Judiciary Committee, is a well-liked delegate, has good relationship with Chairman Akers. So I'd say this has some real shoulders behind it to make it happen.
26 away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Huston's Pizza. Get the Huston's Holiday Pack, large 18-inch pepperoni pizza, 10 breadsticks, 12 hot wings, and a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi, only $33.99. All right, let's talk about it. You mentioned it. 2026 is an election year. I had State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin on the Metro News Midday program yesterday, and he had told me he had been all over the state and on the phone and on the Zoom machine, talking with prospective candidates about running. The Democrats are very, very serious. They see some inroads in West Virginia, mainly because of what some would say would be some infighting among Republicans. I think it's pretty ambitious. As much as I like Mike Pushkin personally, I think it's very ambitious to think that he'll be able to put somebody in all those positions to run and that they'll have a legitimate shot at running. But let's talk about the Republicans for a moment. We've had more and more people in some very strong Republican areas that have come out and said they're going to run in the primary against other Republicans. Now it was that way with Democrats, but wasn't always that way with Republicans. Is that in any of you guys, Steve? I'll start with you. Is that a sign that there's issues, or is that a sign that we're the controlling party and everybody wants a piece of it and we're doing well?
Well, I do think it is a sign that there are some fractures within the Republican Party in the state and Republican elected officials. I liken it to light red versus dark red. Light red being who you would consider to be your traditional Republicans, pre-Donald Trump, Chamber of Commerce style Republicans that are into certain social issues, but on the fringes, on the edges. But then you've got the dark red, which are going to be more of the far right, new right, MAGA right types that are going to take a harder stance and are going to be kind of liberal on some issues that traditionally Republicans aren't really on, like, for example, tort reform and stuff like that, and doing some trying to pull out some of those tort reform issues. So I think you're seeing that fight play out. A lot of the candidates have been recruited especially in the Senate, on the Republican side, are meant to take on some of the more conservative members that have kind of come to leadership positions in that body. So that's the fight I think you're seeing.
Brad?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think what we've seen for the last 5 years or so, maybe longer, has been conflicts among the supermajorities themselves. What brand of Republican are you? And it's been more that than fights between Republicans and Democrats. And I mean, until Democrats make more inroads, that's going to continue. And it's reflected in the closed primaries that Republicans are about to embark on. That's a sign of the infighting, I think.
And the Republicans last year at their convention, guys, they came out and they closed, as Brad alluded to, they closed their primary. So if you were a registered independent, you used to be able to go in and say, I'm a registered independent, but I want a Republican or I want a Democrat ballot. The Republicans have said no to that. Their argument the people that got this passed, their argument was, if you're a Republican, then you should register as a Republican. If you're a Democrat, you should register as a Democrat. I said that I think that's going to hurt the Republicans. Some people agree, some people don't agree. I think that the Democratic Party and Pushkin and others have come out and said, look, this is their imaging. This is not what I'm saying. Their imaging has been like, they don't want you. You're welcome to come over to us. Do you think there'll be any impact come the primary election, Amelia?
I do. I mean, I don't know that I have a really good prediction, but I do think we'll see an impact on it, especially with this infighting with the Republicans. I think if this had been done a few years ago, maybe it wouldn't have mattered that much. But now with this fracture that's really visible in the party, I think it'll be interesting. We also have a new voter ID law going into effect before this next election, where you have to have a government ID, and one
photo ID, yeah.
Yeah, and so now, like your Medicaid card and some other forms of ID that maybe elderly voters, which we're a very elderly state, would have used to vote, are not going to work. And we were told on the House floor that these county clerks can print these new IDs. I would like to verify that. It's actually something I want to work on.
I can tell you, I'll go a little inside baseball here. Full disclosure, Stephen and I both spent time in the Secretary of State's office. I can tell you when the voter ID law went into effect in 2018, the first time it was used was in the Roads to Prosperity election.
Yeah.
You could at that time go to your county clerk's office and you could request a free photo ID. Because some of us had to go on the road and put those cameras out there, and they were absolutely free at that point. Very few people took them up on it. Very few people. Most people that came into the county clerk's office said, "Well, I just want another photo ID," and then they had to explain to them, "Well, this is only for voting. This is not going to get you your ability to get a hotel room or something."
Right. And I had seen a news story, I think in Hancock County months ago, that they got a grant to get the machine to make these photo IDs. So it got me thinking, like, well, who else needs a grant to get this, right? Yeah. So anyway, I'm not saying that'll have a massive effect, but I think the closed primary, the voter right, like there's some things at play in this election that'll be interesting.
Stephen, you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, I think she's right. And I think, look, I mean, Trump nationwide is not popular, but he remains popular in West Virginia.
And zero sign that that's changing in West Virginia.
No change of that in the state of West Virginia. But do I think, particularly in your more urban parts of the state, that Democrats can take maybe one or two House seats, maybe take a Senate seat, perhaps up in the Monongalia, Marion County corridor? I think it's possible. I think you might see a few Democratic pickups. Not a lot, not enough to break up the supermajority in the Republicans, but enough the where it might make somebody raise a few eyebrows.
I think that this election, a Democrat candidate described it to me as a lightning in a bottle moment, and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
There's no Trump on the ticket or a J.D. Vance. I think, and people are very frustrated with national politics, local politics. Why can I not afford my grocery bill? And so those things, along with this closed primary, all these things might play in Democrats' favor.
And I'll kind of close with this, and Brad, I'll give you an opportunity to weigh in this as well. In talking to Pushkin on the midday show yesterday, I said, from a marketing perspective, to go in and convince somebody who may be very, very strong in their beliefs, that I'm a Democrat and I want to run. What they're going to do when they go into some of these areas and they knock on doors, and a lot of questions, because I've been there, I've seen it, a lot of questions are going to be, okay, you're a registered Democrat, how do you feel about Trump? And when you go into some of these hollers in West Virginia, as soon as you say, well, I'm not really door slams, because that's where West Virginia is right now. And it's rough. And Pushkin admitted that on the show. It's going to be rough to try to convince people to run, although he says they're doing a good job, and I believe him on that. But to get that image that, because all politics has become national over the last couple of years, to say I am a old school West Virginia Republican, and then they start throwing out the terms: Biden, Pelosi, Kamala Harris, so on and so forth. Brad, your thoughts on that, and then we'll let you go. How's that? And I've got other things to get to as well.
Well, I would say the most important election this spring in West Virginia is actually nonpartisan. There are 2 seats up on the state Supreme Court. There's been a move to try to make those partisan races, but they are nonpartisan for now. 2 out of the 5 justices, and they have important things ahead of them this year. So if that's not on your radar, gentle listeners, I really think it should be.
It should be. You're absolutely right. We'll close with that. Brad, thank you so much, and I hope you and the family have a very, very happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. I know you're going to be on Talk Line with Wilson later today, so thank you, my friend, as always, and we'll be talking to you in the new year.
Hey, thanks, and hello to Grady and Waylon. Happy New Year to them.
Stephen Allen Adams, remind people where they can read your stuff.
Yeah, Parkersburg News, Wheeling Intelligencer, Weirton Daily Times, the Intermountain and Elkins, the Martinsburg Journal, Dominion Post, and Stephen Adams WV on X.
All right, and Amelia, West Virginia Watch?
Yeah, westvirginiawatch.com and in statewide newspapers, and we are so close to session. And we'll be seeing a lot of each other.
Well, and
yes.
Good thing we like each other.
I was going to say I will give you guys a couple of weeks off, to recover, because the circus is back in town, as they say. But the circus is back in town, but with not as many squirrels.
Allegedly.
But a few nuts.
Too soon.
But a few nuts. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you both being here. It's 9:43 of the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley Community Technical College. Insurance agents are in demand of the state and across the country. Bridge Valley can help you take that first step. Their insurance pre-sales licensure course will get you ready to sit in for the state-required property and casualty insurance licensure exam. And to start your career in this ever-growing field, check out bridgevalley.edu for details. Bridge Valley Community Technical College, your career starts here. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
The Dave Allen Show is presented in part by Generations Ford in Hurricane, part of the Eric J. Tarr family of businesses.
I'm Doug Leach, founder and CEO of Ascension Recovery Services. We've done a number of projects with Jarrett Construction. Finding people that really care about what they do and care about what we do is pretty unique. In Jarrett Construction, they care. They're really, really good people. Good people do the right thing, and they're very skilled. They have all the qualities that make up just a perfect construction partner, and they just build us a phenomenal building.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
You've worked hard. You've saved. Now it's time to make your money work for you without second-guessing every decision. I'm John Burdett with 4th Avenue Financial, and I help people retire with confidence and clarity. We'll create a personalized plan that fits your lifestyle, your goals, and your legacy. Retirement should feel like freedom, not fear. Visit 4thavenuefinancial.com. Let's get started today. 4th Avenue Financial, retirement done right.
Securities offered through Jenny McCole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny McCole Advisors Incorporated.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed only $59.99. Wednesday, January 14th at the Holiday Inn and Suites in South Charleston. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 5:30 p.m. Registration 5 p.m. Stop smoking starts at 8 p.m. Registration 7:30 p.m. The latest in news, talk, and sports on 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Visit jarrett-construction.com for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
Now showing on Metro News Television, your friends at Hope Gas present Episode 5 of State of Minds. Hoppy Kercheval visits with CEO of Hope Gas, Morgan O'Brien.
We are part of West Virginia, and we're not going away. And it's not just about taking from West Virginia, it's about giving back.
State of Minds, Episode 5, now available on Metro News TV. Presented by Hope Gas, with support from Greer Industries. Only on the Metro News Television app.
Welcome back to the show. It's 15 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. If you're injured, visit forthepeople.com. I've got several texts to get to. I'll get to those a little bit later on in the show. It is New Year's Eve, though. A lot of people are going to be out celebrating, some of us on our couches. checking out about 10, then hopefully waking up in time to see the ball drop at midnight. But others are going to go out, and sadly, many will try to drive home after they've had a few too many. And with the projected snowfall tonight, just all around, never a good idea, but especially when you add a little snow and ice to it. Sergeant Jeremy Burns from the Kanawha County Sheriff's Department is here, and he joins us now. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good to be here.
First of all, I talked earlier about this traffic situation on I-77 around Sissonville, and I know that when you leave here, I think you're going to go and try to help those guys out up there. There's slick conditions out there this morning. Not a lot of snow, but there's slick conditions out there, and you guys are on it.
Yeah, I've been in contact with the news all morning, and I've actually lost count of the number of wrecks we've actually had. We have deputies working accidents with accidents happening right beside them.
Yeah.
So it's pretty bad up there. They have, I believe, the southbound lane shut down right now.
Yeah.
They're just waiting on DOH to show up and salt the roads.
Yeah, it's going to get better a little bit later on in the day because we're going to get a little sunshine, actually warm up to around 37, 40 degrees somewhere in that general neighborhood. All right. It should be a no-brainer, to tell people don't drink and drive. But people do it, and they do it not just on New Year's Eve. They do it year-round. But adding to the fact tonight, we are going to have some snow roll in. They say after 9 or 10 o'clock, it's going to make it even worse. Your advice to people if they're heading out tonight?
First and foremost, we want you to have fun. Go out and enjoy New Year's Eve, celebrate, hang out with your friends, but we want you to be responsible. We want you to be safe. And more importantly, we just want to make sure you're not drinking and driving.
Mm-hmm. And what about, do you have extra patrols out tonight? Or, here's the thing. Anytime I talk to anybody from the Kanawha County Sheriff's Department, Kanawha County is a big old county. It really is huge. And, but you're bringing in extra patrols tonight?
Yeah, we're going to put 6 additional deputies out this evening. Mm-hmm. And the whole reason for them being out is to target impaired driving.
Right. And I don't want to give away trade secrets here, but what, as a police officer, there's signs obviously that you look for, but you're veering from lane to lane, something like that. Officer, what are you looking at?
When you're impaired, you have a hard time, first and foremost, keeping your car, you've heard, between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you're going over the center line, going over the white line on your right. You have people that drive the wrong speed limit. They'll drive 20 miles slower than they probably should be, or 20 miles faster.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that factor into that. But we do our traffic stop. We go up and talk to the driver. We look for certain signs. We look for, the odor of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
We look at your bloodshot eyes. And if those symptoms are there, then we ask you to step out and do a few field sobriety tests.
If you are, and I'm not trying to give away, this is how you get by with it. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. Don't read me wrong. But if you are somebody's had a few drinks at a New Year's Eve party or any time and they get pulled over, is it better to just say, okay, I made a mistake here?
It's always better to be honest up front with the officer, but when it comes to New Year's Eve and it comes to impaired driving, we don't show any tolerance.
Right.
If you're impaired and you're putting other people's lives in danger, you're going to end up in handcuffs.
Well, and it's not just about you. And sometimes, you can see situations where someone you may think that you're okay. Well, what if somebody that is sober crashes into you and you're intoxicated? You can still be charged. Even though you weren't necessarily the person that caused the accident.
You cannot operate a motor vehicle impaired whatsoever. So whether you're a cause for the accident or not, if you're involved in that, it looks like it's your fault.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Bottom line is as you said, Sergeant, and again, we're talking with Sergeant Jeremy Burns of Kanawha County Sheriff's Department. If you want to go out and have fun, if you are going to have a few, or one even, get a designated driver. Put a Diet Coke in somebody's hand or a water or whatever, and don't take that. And there's too many options out there now, than what there were 15, 20 years ago, because, everybody's got Lyft and Uber and things of that nature. Right. So there's just so many options out there.
Yeah. If you plan on going out this evening, go ahead and download your Uber app. Go ahead and download Lyft. Set up your accounts. Get the app ready. And if you feel like you've had too much this evening, call that Uber to come pick you up.
And sometimes there will be those people that it sneaks up on you. You're kind of go, I thought I was okay, but I'm not now. Don't take the chance. If you have a question, even if you don't, just simply don't take the chance. And it puts, if you go out to a bar type setting or some sort of a party, we've seen cases sometimes when even the people that are serving them could be charged. So, just bottom line is just be safe, or just stay home. You could also do that as well.
Yeah, staying home is definitely the safest idea, but just know your limits. Know how much you can have, and when you feel like you're hitting that, stop. Sober up for a while before you go out and drive.
All right. Sergeant Jeremy Burns, Kanawha County Sheriff's Department. Be careful out there yourself, and also on that situation where the roads are kind of slick up on 77 around Sissonville. Appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
It's 9:50. We'll take a break and be back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for shopping locally.
Fall is here, and the only thing that's falling faster than the leaves in West Virginia are the prices on Jeep Grand Cherokees at Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Hurricane. Right now, Gene and Ryan have over 50 Grand Cherokees in stock, and each one of them have been marked down. Walker has the largest selection of Grand Cherokees in the Kanawha Valley, and all of them need new homes. Check this out. Grand Cherokee Limited with third row seating, now Walker priced with up to $11,000 off MSRP. And you know you're going to get the best deal possible at Walker because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals. So don't wait. Take advantage of these great savings before Old Man Winter settles into the Mountain State for good. Take that short 20-minute drive from Charleston or Huntington to Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, just off the Hurricane exit of I-64. Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, making friends one deal at a time.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Welcome back to the show. It's 8 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Generations Ford of Hurricane. Drive home in a newer quality pre-owned Ford with no payments to qualified buyers for 90 days. Generations Ford, just off the Hurricane exit of I-64 or online, generationsford.com. One destination for every generation, Generations Ford. See dealer for details. Rest of the show is yours. Piggly Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text, 304-935-5008. We do have a couple of texts I want to get to, and there were a couple actually that came in one of these. Sometimes I think people get the text lines mixed up. Okay, we have two different text lines for this show in Metro News Midday. This text line, courtesy of Tony the Taylor's, 304-935-5008. So just keep that in mind. Different text line, though, available for the Metro News Midday show. So sometimes texts come to this show, and I don't get them because they were meant for the other show based on the time. But we were talking on Metro News Midday the other day. We had Dave Wilson on, who actually interviewed the first disc jockey in America to ever play John Denver's Country Roads. And it was a WMOV radio in Ravenswood. And he kind of broke some rules, this guy did, to put this in. It was a great story. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to the podcast version of that interview that Dave did. But somebody texted in about that. So 20 years ago, my college-age son was in South Korea for a student conference. He was at a local bar wearing a WVU sweatshirt. When the local musicians from South Korea learned it was his birthday and saw his sweatshirt, they started playing Country Roads, and everyone started singing and said it was great. It's one of those songs that just become a universal favorite. I mean, you hear Country Roads, people that have absolutely no ties, like South Korea, for example, to West Virginia. People love the song. Text says, going back to the election, the 2026 primary will be near record low participation levels. The close primary thing will not be as pronounced as some may believe merely because the turnout will be incredibly low. Yeah, it's going to be a very low turnout. Texter is absolutely right about that. And it traditionally in West Virginia is if there's not a presidential race. And this is a midterm, so no presidential race. On the squirrels, text says, there used to be so many wonderful, happy squirrels. Not the past year. Sad. The governor must... No, I'm not reading that part. Text says, Dave, how about TJ's commentary this morning? He sounded like a holier-than-thou fiscal Puritan who lacked empathy and supports the use of government as a punitive tool to use against its own citizens. Good thing no one in government has used debt relief protections from overborrowing or being unable or unwilling to pay debt. Oh, wait, our president is one, says the texter. Text says, if only Morrissey was as worried about our guardsmen in D.C. as he was about the squirrels. Again, if you're wondering why in the heck are they talking about squirrels? Well, the story, the governor on X last night did there had been all these rumors going around about a giant squirrel extermination going on at the Capitol. Stephen's looked into it. Brad's looked into it. Amelia's looked into it. Nobody's been able to find out anything on this. And the governor took to X last night to put a comment out about it, demanding that another news organization, or asking, I guess, that another news organization address it. And so that's where did they get the facts and whatever. There doesn't seem to be anything to the story, is bottom line. Coming up later today on Metro News Midday with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barrett and me. It's Wednesday, which means another wonderful West Virginian will be honored. Delegate Clay Riley is going to join us on the show today. You know, and we hear so much about data centers, and so much of it's negative, but not everyone is against them. And Delegate Riley was one of those. Had a conversation with him last night. This has been one that's been 100% on board with data centers, introduced legislation, about it. So Delegate Riley is going to join us during the 2:00 hour on the show today. Plus, we are going to spend some more time talking about student loans. And again, TJ Meadows is going to join us. TJ, who may be the worst vacationer ever because he's on vacation, but he's joined us twice on the show today, this week. So he's going to join us quickly. Chris Lawrence will have the news, too. Meteorologist Joe Fitzwater will stop by. And, of course, Open Line West Virginia. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and me coming up at noon today. I had a text here to the show, and I want to address just real quick, and it said, continued prayers, Dave. If you were listening to the Metro News Midday show yesterday, and I'm a person that kind of lives my life out in the open, I talked about this on Metro News Midday yesterday, but just in case you may have missed it, not trying to get sympathy or anything like that, just throwing it out there. I got a couple health issues. I'm not planning on checking out anytime soon, but I did, had a checkup with a doctor, and they were concerned about my PSA levels. And so, I kind of, didn't do what I should as far as a follow-up appointment. And I went back for a checkup, and they said, well, guess what? They've gone up even more. So I've started this series of, trying to get it, checked out about a pretty high percentage rate that it probably is cancer. And I'm okay with that because I just got to start the treatment or whatever the treatment is. Now I go in next Thursday, and I will not be on either show next Thursday. I will go in for a biopsy. And we'll kind of see where we are, from there. But I appreciate, I put it on, I made it social media official, as the kids would say, on, a couple of times, and did a post about it Monday. And I got a lot of phone calls and texts and things of that nature, and people well wishers. And, bottom line is that if it is, it's very treatable. It's very, and I've done a lot of research, talking to various people, talking to my medical professionals. Some cases, they don't do anything at all. They just monitor it. Other cases, there may be surgery or radiation, or they're doing this thing with seeds now, which I don't even want to go there. The ability to grow cabbage in places that I don't want to grow it. But anyway, so may look into that, may not look into anything at all. But the bottom line is the only reason I even put it on the air and on social media to begin with was to tell people that you got to take care of yourself. And I have been one that has been very, very guilty of not doing as much. So Millie Schneider would be proud. I've still stand to lose a little bit more, but I've lost about 30 pounds over the last 6 to 8 months, and working on it, as the late great Chris Rea would say. And those of you that are obscure music fans will know who Chris Rea is. Working on it. We got this. All right. No local show tomorrow or Friday. I'll be back on Monday. Charleston Mayor Amy Schuler-Goodwin in studio to give a preview of her State of the City address. And also Danny Jones will join us on Monday. No Metro News Midday. Actually, Metro News Midday is a best of show tomorrow. I'll be back flying that show on solo on Friday. But I'll be back with Amanda later today at noon. Till then, have fun. I love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.